Hey guys, it's Krystal Lee Moore Lucier here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore. This is Realtor Life, and guys, we have a big treat today. Welcome, Kathleen Black. Welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, Krista.
I'm super excited. So, Kathleen runs an amazing organization, Kathleen Black International. And this is a company that I've known about, I've worked with for several years, but just even watching you guys grow over the years is so amazing. Thank you for all you do.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet.
Oh,
We love what we do.
you can tell, and you make such an impact in the real estate realm. And you guys coach, oh my goodness, some I was just at your summit and I got to be elbow to elbow with some of the amazing teams that you coach.
Yeah, we have a
And
beautiful community.
really do. And all over Canada too, which is really awesome. Really
Mhm.
awesome. So Kathleen, so we were just talking before we started recording that so Kathleen Black International, it used to be KBCC.
It did. It was Kathleen Black coaching and consulting, and we switched it. In Canada, we're very limited on our business corporation options. So if you
Yeah.
wonder why you see names International Inc., that is thank you to our naming conventions. But
Yeah.
we really wanted to kind of expand our vision, so we rebranded to Kathleen Black International.
It's awesome. And I love the new logo. It's very sharp.
Yes, shout out to Sabina Malik on that one. She helped us with our rebrand. And honestly, if anybody here has done a rebrand, like I created my initial brand. So it was like my baby. Like I even created the mock-up for the logo. Like I was in it. So when we were rebranding, I walked in and I was so scared. Like I told them, I said, I'm probably gonna need a couple days and I'll look at
Yeah.
it again. And the minute they open, I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. So
And that's, I think it's such a testament to like any career, but like when you know that someone listened to you and they paid attention and then the results, yeah, that's really cool. I love
yeah,
it.
it was. I'm happy with it.
And I was also just saying, guys, so Kathleen has written some very cool books. So how many books have you written now?
I've written two, but I'm behind a little bit on my third. It's in the works, but we're writing it with a different process.
Okay.
So anyone creative or who's written a book will understand. There is a third book coming out that's more leadership focused, but there are two that are, out published, one's on Audible, all that kind of good stuff.
Yes, and I had read The 1% Life a few years ago now. I got a copy of it at your summit after COVID. Those years are all very blurry. I want to say 2022.
Wow.
Um, but then I just listened to it. So big recommend, guys. If you need something that you're gonna have holidays, you want to listen to a great book, The 1% Life by Kathleen Black, and you actually you narrate it yourself, which is always nice.
Yes. Yes.
That
And
road
I
that
also
makes it
narrated it during COVID. So I narrated it three times and narrating it even once just because of quality control with sound, right? And we
Yes.
had issues, but there's a lot of bonus material on the Audible because I'm an auditory learner and obviously I speak for a living. So people who love bonus content love it, but a lot of people now speed read, like they have the
Yeah.
physical book and then they put the Audible on like double, triple. So my speed readers they're like, why is there extra stuff? I'm like, it's bonus content. Like it's extra. I'm like, oh, because they didn't like it interrupted the speed read. So
Yeah.
next time I might do it differently. But yeah.
It's so good. So Kathleen, now for anyone, I would say this is a very small group. Anyone who hasn't already heard of Kathleen, how did you, so you are running this amazing company. How did this happen? Like I know a bit of your story, but I would love you to share it. Like, did you wake up one day and you're like, you know what? I am going to run a huge, amazing coaching company. Like, how did it all work?
No, I mean, no, I didn't wait. And it's always, I always say like nine lives, like I'm a nine lives person. But, I had a client a couple years ago say to me, they came to an event and they said, Kathleen, like this was actually, we were in two national events this year. So it was our summit in January. And they said, Kathleen, like you reinvented yourself again. And I thought, if you can, I can, like you're the reinvention queen. And I'd never heard somebody ever say that. And it
Yeah.
really surprised me. But I think the reality is, life throws us all sorts of opportunities, right? Some are plated beautifully and feel like a promotion, and
Yeah.
others are plated like a fire or a challenge or
Yeah.
maybe even a tragedy, like or
Yes.
a difficulty.
Yep.
And for me, I think the initial years, like I've always loved to support how people tick. I've always been like somebody people would come to for advice or talk to me about something. And I've always been an advocate, for people and their voice and just like alignment in themselves. But I got into coaching just in a kind of haphazard way. Like in the quick version, I was, in building real estate in my real estate investment portfolio with my husband at the time. And I mean, that was great. I say we were doing the Burr effect. We didn't even know it was the Burr effect, right? So purchasing properties in the beaches and the film district, like gutting them completely and then creating multi-units, move into one, create the rest, refinance, go on to the next one. And that
Yeah.
was great. Our realtor was lovely, but not investment specialized, had real trouble with the numbers and analyzing the properties. And so there was a lot of a push to get into real estate. And I, at this point, now had two kids, very young kids, under 3 at that point, or under 4.
Oh my
And,
God.
I'm a property manager, I'm a landlord, I'm a contractor somehow. Like I'm doing all the things. And everyone's like, well, you should get your real estate license. And I really didn't want another hat, but it became apparent that I needed it to build a real estate portfolio. But quickly, I was very newly licensed, and it caused a lot of disruption in my personal life. And I always bring that up because now, 16 years of coaching, I know a lot of women that when they went to kind of build their own career or do something out of the household, the family dynamic changed, and not lightly, like maybe lightly
Yeah.
at first, but it changed quite swiftly. And it became very clear, I've a documentary of my life there. Like my home life wasn't always great as a young person. I left home very young, and it just started to feel a little too familiar. So I found myself brand new license. At this point, two kids are now under 5, and I had to make some tough decisions. And honestly, going the safe route sometimes is safe for the present, but it's not
Yeah.
always safe for your future. And I say, real estate saved my life, and it literally did. It gave me
Yeah.
autonomy, it allowed me to build, it allowed me to have the resources to protect my family and navigate. And I think the things I loved in real estate is what I loved in coaching. I loved helping people, I loved helping them get to their goals, protecting them if they were going through something difficult, which
Yeah.
sometimes they are. And the end of the first year in real estate, I'd sold 44 homes. Year 2, I was, I think, just under 60. And then I stayed
Oh,
like 60 to 70.
yep.
Yeah. As I
Amazing.
was coaching. So I ran the first team specific coaching company for real estate in Canada. I had a silent partner. I owned half the company and kind of turned it around. It had found itself in a bit of turmoil early on. So I learned a lot. If
Yeah.
you run a business that's underwater, you learn a lot.
Oh,
So when I
yes.
sold my half of that company to do this, it felt like flying. Like we had no money. There was, right? Like I was just, money was tied up coming from
Yeah.
the prior company. It felt just like when I was going through the divorce. Everything was frozen. The judge ordered everything frozen. It's like you have this new start, but you have nothing. Like, what do you want to do with it?
Yep.
So 10 years later, we've done a lot with it. Like we're Canada's top team coaching platform. We have an amazing team, but it hasn't been easy. It's been worth it. So I'd say I never sought or envisioned where we'd be here, but I always sought impact. That was
Yeah.
always important to me.
Absolutely. And I think like just like with anything, the when there are challenges, like whether it's with a real estate market or a career or whatever it is, I think you learn so much more than if it was
Oh,
easy.
yeah. Well, for sure. I mean, now I say it's different. Like I think after COVID, people got tired of resilience. I got tired of resilience. I've had to be resilient basically my whole life, and I just
Yeah.
saw people, and I still do, like emotionally heavy, like down, like things are feeling just weighted for people. And
Yes.
we talked a lot last year about alchemy and anti-fragile. It's like I don't want to be resilient anymore. I want to make beautiful things out of difficult things,
Yeah.
but I don't want to just get through it anymore. Like I'm not interested in that. And I think that's probably a message a lot of people need to hear. There's a point where you're like, I can do it different now.
Yeah, I love that. We actually had on a friend of mine. Her episode, I believe, is airing right before yours. And she was saying the theme that she's seeing more and more people need for the new year is kind of more connection and less. It's again, it's very similar. It's really cool because I just got tingles when I said, "Oh, that's really like," and you guys don't know each other at all, but you're both in the space of helping people. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Well, that's why we launched Founders this year, like it's not coaching, which people are confused by, right? I'm like, this isn't coaching. Like this is community. This is
Yes.
time together more often, more intimacy, like having people at a deeper level in your corner. And I think, for a lot of seven-figure plus leaders, they still feel pretty isolated, or 500 plus leaders, they feel quite isolated. And I think all, the platforms you're on, like all the tech is saying, people are moving away from as content rich and they're moving to deeper community and connection.
Oh,
And
yes.
it makes sense that isolation is hard for humans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially like I know, and now we're like, we'll be almost 6 years out of COVID next year. And I think we're still feeling like the almost the group PTSD, right?
Oh, for sure. You come out of COVID, that you have all this fear, all this tension, but a high real estate market. And then you
Yeah.
come with economic changes and tariffs and politics. And like wherever you fall, it's still a lot of change. It's a lot of uncertainty. And
Yes.
for people whose nervous systems aren't wired that way, it can cause them to freeze or to run, right? Like this is most reaction. So I think coming into community regulates
Yeah.
people. It gives you stability.
That's very, very, very cool. Now, as far as your like for the coaching company, one of the things that I really, really admire that you guys do is you really lean into systems.
Yeah.
And I think, especially for people listening to this, I think what we're trying to do all the time is figure out what what should I listen to in the limited time that I have.
Yeah.
And what I like is that there's a lot of noise out there in the
Mhm.
coaching
Yeah,
area,
of
but
course.
you guys really like you're almost like a lighthouse in the storm because you actually have solid like here's the system, do it with our help and it will work. Like
Yeah. Well, we do, but it's not, I'm gonna say I'm almost gonna say it's not for everyone, but that's not true. It's that there is so much noise. And when there's again tension and uncertainty,
yeah,
people look for sometimes quick wins. And that's where you get
yeah,
the enter, what do they call it? Entertainment, right?
yeah,
Infotainment.
yeah,
And you get like the quick tips and tricks because I think leaders are worried and they're like, what can we do today to just
yeah,
get a win? And they're not wrong. Like we need that boost, but we're kind of the other side of the spectrum. We're the long-term thinkers, we're the strategic thinkers. Like our community is very much heart-led, values driven, but like ultra performers, like that's who they are. So we want the systems that are going to carry us through. So if there's a difficult market, it's like we can double down in other areas because we have such a strong foundation. And last year and this year, I mean, the people who are growing and excelling, they are exceptionally process driven, almost to a fault. Like it's very rare I see someone who's up in 2024 or 2025.
for sure. And I like that you said that. I think it really is about the foundation
Mhm.
because I think when we're looking at I mean, I would call myself a serial education person. Like I'm always listening or reading or something, but you do have to kind of navigate almost the landmines to say, yeah, it is great to spend some time on your social media. Fantastic. But what did someone just say to me? Don't like you want to work on like pulling people towards you, not just pushing out content.
Yes, absolutely. Attraction
Yeah.
based. Yeah. And when
And
people
it's
resonate
easier.
with you.
It's easier to push out the content though. It's easier to
Yeah.
spend the morning working on like a really cool Instagram post than
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is. Well, just like it's easier to get our energy up and do like a quick win,
Yeah,
tactic, but the reality is almost all things in life, like easier now isn't easier later. You know what I
I love
mean?
that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I get that side. And I think behind everything I'm hearing you say is like intentionality. Like to be a
Yes.
long game player, you're very intentional. To do content that you're trying to track people, you're
Yeah.
very intentional. And sometimes you still don't hit, even when you're intentional. You read it later and you're like, oh, I was so off. What happened that day?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's yeah, very cool. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is what was like I think I tell everyone that will listen, I love your summit. I love how amazing, like I know you guys put a lot of work into it.
We
Um,
do. Yeah.
but it's so I always leave feeling like I'm on top of the world. Can you tell us a little bit about, first of all, how did that even come to fruition? Like, how did that start? And then
Yeah.
why do you do it?
Yeah, well, funny story. I mean, I ran at my prior company, I planned and ran, I think it was like seven or out of the eight Canadian team summits. So those ran first. So when I came and started my own company, I said, okay, this is a chance for us to take it up a notch into like we wanted to support elite leaders, but people hear that and sometimes they hear elitism. That's not what I'm saying. We wanted to support elite leaders that are very curious,
Yeah.
very open to holistic high performance, very like very in tune with their thought processes, their leadership style, their systems, where they're going in 10 years, their health, their wellness, their longevity, how well their brains
Yes.
are working. Like
Yep.
that's really important to us. And understanding that the more we don't do kind of the what we're not good at or the rudimentary stuff, the more we can open up to our connection with people and our vision to build things. So
Yeah.
that was the vision from the start with Summit. But the first year, I mean, it was in 2016. We opened 2015, but our first summit 2016. And I mean, we were just running at it. Like we bootstrapped it. Like we had maybe a few sponsors, but like we fully just took, like I did, took a chance and invested in it. And I mean, people came. It was amazing this time at the 10 year for people to go, I was at your first summit. Like, and I was like, you were? Like, yeah. Like I was there. Like I saw it. Like I can't believe, 10 years later. So I think the vision for Summit is some people get confused because the vision for Summit for us is not strictly tactical. The vision for Summit is to bring people into a space where they can literally relax a little bit,
Yeah.
open their right brain, dream again, see people
Yes.
achieving things again, and actually transform how they're seeing their year ahead. That's actually our goal of Summit. And if you bring people together who are doing amazing things and you show people what's possible, and it's actually like, oh, they're saying crazy things I don't hear other places, but here's a year later and they did it.
Yeah.
That's powerful, right? With a thoughtful community. So I think some people come in and they're like, I thought I'd have this full tactical experience. It's like we're here to align ourselves to get really clear and confident, and then we build all year,
Yeah.
right? Like we do it in coaching. So I think depending on the leader, most people love and resonate with it, but some
Yeah.
people kind of come and they're like, "Where's my quick wins?" I'm like, "Okay, okay."
I will, so I guess my question is so you have it in Niagara Falls and
Yeah,
usually in November,
yeah,
or Niagara area, because I know the one year we
usually.
had it in Niagara on the Lake. But what is there something behind that area and that timing?
It's like when we ran the one before this was in January in Toronto. So we
Yes.
did the documentary premiere and we were in Toronto.
Yes.
And some of our people flying in loved it in Toronto because they're
Yeah.
like, it's so much closer to the airport. It's easier for
Yeah.
us. They love January because they felt it kicked them off.
Yeah.
But we love November usually because we get ahead of business planning season. So I really love to get people like in good energy, good mindset to push the end of the year, but also to do their planning. Whereas
Yeah.
when I find they come in January, they already kind of have this vision of their year.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to pump up what they already have, but I might want to reset it. So that's why, but we're looking to change locations going in. It's been 10 years. Like we want to change things up a little bit. So we will see. I'd love to go back to Niagara on the Lake. It's close, but it's nice. So we'll see. It will run, but probably not in the same place.
Well, I'm very excited. And I think what's cool is that being there, I think my first one was 2018, and I did not know it was only the third one. So that's really cool. So credit to you guys.
Yeah, we were at Falls View then, and they used to be a lot more like you brought up systems, and I skimmed over some important things. Like in the old days when I ran the prior company, right? People would sign up and come, and they'd say, "I need to build my business. I need systems," and we say, "Great, like we have them. Let's go." And there was so much resistance. There was so much self-sabotage, and it was just like the way a systematic business runs is so different from traditional real estate. It just
Yeah.
is. I'm not saying one's bad or good. That's not the point of this. It's just
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So in advanced sophisticated real estate, the busier you get, the more you need tech or scaling or leverage and support. You need to become a CEO or a founder. You just do mentally. And that's very different from traditional real estate. So people would come in and we'd be like, I don't understand. Why is there all this pushback? And so when we started KBCC back then, we started with that inside out method, which I know you just went through again. And the reason we do that is as a leader, if you can increase your clarity and confidence, that's almost the most important thing for me
Yeah.
because our lives and businesses are based on the quality of our choices. And when our confidence and our clarity is low, so are our choices. So we always do it as a first pillar. So it's like the leader's clarity and confidence goes up, they do a plan. And so they come out and they're like, oh, I need this, this, this.
Yeah.
Instead of like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if that works in my area. I don't know. I don't know. And it's like night and day. So for us as leaders, like when people are like, I'm so busy, I can't take a break or I can't take a course or I can't, it's like your set point. I know you know this, Krystal Lee, like your set point, your energy is literally defining everything around you.
Yeah.
Like it's so important. It's most important.
I really loved too. So, I mean, I would say like if you guys have a chance, go to the summit. I think whenever you guys probably announce it in the new year, but probably halfway through or in the beginning.
I'm laughing because every year I say I'm not going to do it again. So if you talk to my team and my family, like Jane came out, she's like, "You're not doing it again, right? Like you're not. You said you're not." Because it's like doing 10 weddings a year. Like that,
Yes.
like I planned my own wedding this year, right? And it was great. It was work. It was like a breeze compared to Summit.
Well,
So the
that's funny.
reason I always hesitate, it's like giving birth. Like I need to forget a little bit. And then
Fair,
I'm like, okay,
fair.
okay.
So, guys, if it happens,
It will
it will
happen.
be announced.
Yeah. We'd love to have you there.
What I have to say is like what I loved is that seeing firsthand, not just the community of agents, and their teams and their support, but it was your team and how just it was like a family vibe, but how you could tell that every single person there, this is more than a job for them. Like it's a
Yeah.
passion. Like you could just see it in every conversation. And I was just, I mean, I was obviously affected. Like I signed up and I'm very excited. But it was just there's just a different vibe. It was a little bit more authentic, a little bit more passion, a little bit more connect. And
Yeah. I
that's,
think you go through changes as leaders and you get more aligned, right? In who
yeah,
you are and whatnot. And like we made in here nor there, like we made a lot of changes in the last year and a half. And I
yeah,
think people who come into we, we're very aware that we're modeling,
yeah,
right? Like how we do things, whether we want to believe it or not, subconsciously, unconsciously,
yeah,
consciously, is setting an example. So I think
oh,
when
yes,
people come into our environment and it's not more than a job, it's hard for them and it's hard for us, right? Like it just isn't a fit because I everything I do in this company has been not about money.
yeah,
It's been about impact. So that's hard for some people because they're like, where does she come from? Like she's almost like obsessive, right?
yeah.
But it's because
That's
we
so
have a
passionate.
mission. It's a passion. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And you actually you feel it when you talk and you feel it. And we kind of blew right over congratulations on getting married
Oh,
and
thank you.
congratulations on your documentary. And like that's a huge, huge deal.
Yeah, like it's funny. Like Jane said to me, like we kept saying our motto for next year is do less. Meanwhile, the universe is like we're on a wave right now. So I'm like that's not going to happen because the momentum is like I started Summit talking about, we're all either at a peak or we're coming down from the peak or we're in the valley or we're just about to come up from the valley. Like that's
Yeah,
normal. And I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we think it's not and we panic. And it's like, that's your growth. I'm not talking about production. Like, I'm not saying you should
yeah,
have hills and valleys. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about as a leader. Like, we go through creation and creation requires destruction.
yeah.
It's a cycle, right? So this year, we ran two summits. We got married, we renovated two homes, we moved, like I did multiple cross coast talks and Jane's just like people don't fathom, but we love it. But next year, I
Yeah.
don't think we're going to do less. We're going to do different. Like Founders has launched the show. We're really passionate about. We want to pump up Canadian female founders. With
Yes.
everything going on, we want a voice there. So we're excited about it.
Absolutely. And guys, so Kathleen and her wife Jane they've started a podcast called Found Hers with like Found Hers with
Hers.
HERS. And it is everywhere you listen to podcasts. And how many you have, when is the second episode is already out?
Yeah, the third episode came in, I think, yesterday. And I mean,
Okay,
we're filming
perfect.
this a little bit before, but yeah, I think we'll film again in January. So we have a few more still to come out. So it's fun, right? Like we have Canadian leaders and then we have us talking about what
Yeah.
our entrepreneur friends are talking about in private. And like
It
that's
feels, I will say, so I've listened to the first one. I'm excited to listen to the other two. It feels like you're kind of in the living room with you guys or sitting at a table, and like it's a very cool opportunity for if you guys want to listen and kind of like we talk about learning by osmosis, you just you feel you make it feel like you're there, and it's really cool.
yeah, we wanted people to see the personal side too. I think like people know me as Kathleen, like systems and like so structured. It's like there are multiple sides to all of us, and there's a reason why we do life the way we do. So I think it's nice, like for anyone watching who's still in that old school of like I have to have business and life separate, like just that act for most people, not everyone, most people, it's really exhausting, right? It's really
Yeah.
hard. And for entrepreneurs, it's like this is just our life. Like I've got personal time and health time and family time and business time. But in high season, I mean, they're all melding so that I can have off season and have a break, right?
Well,
So,
that's the thing, right? Because if you don't take a break, and we talk about that actually quite a bit on like how important it is to make sure you don't burn
yeah.
out.
Very, very. And
And it's
and even then, like there are times where, you commit and I always say like trusting yourself so important because as entrepreneurs we commit and as agents, right? We commit to so much. And I mean, I think it's hard because we hear so much about boundaries and whatnot. And of course we need to have that. We need to be able to say no and whatnot. But sometimes it's like if you have opportunities coming to you and you're in your on season, for me, it's the height of my year, 2 times a year, then you flow into it. And if it's too
yeah,
much, you hopefully have some help, but then I still deliver and then I change it next time. I'm like, that pushed me a little too close. I won't do it again that way. But for me, showing up and delivering if I've made a commitment, unless it's beyond my health, is important. I think it's part of your character and part of your brand.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I find I'm very much the same way. Sometimes because I know that I will I think last year my mantra was just because I can do it doesn't mean I should do it.
Yes, I like it.
Less on the plate because I'm the same. Like if I say I'll do it, I will do it.
Yeah.
But to what end, right? At one point you have to just make sure you're still okay to keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, what would you say? So you get to meet a lot of people on their journey from like maybe start to finish. What would you say is something that people kind of consistently, I know everyone's different, but consistently you notice that coaching can kind of help with?
Well, I think like let's just hit the most obvious one. Like the same reason coaching can be so powerful is the same reason why some people avoid it. And I'm going to explain this, right? Because sometimes, and I'll just use the hamster wheel because we all
Yeah,
know what that means. Sometimes in life we're on that hamster wheel and we're just getting
yeah,
through, getting through, getting through, right? And I think people come into this business and they have big goals and they're really excited and they get to those goals, but they don't pause. They don't be like, oh, I achieved it. Like, do I need to reset? Does this still make sense? Like, am
yeah,
I living the way I thought I would once I achieved all this? And often they just keep staying on that hamster wheel because they're scared to pause and actually be in silence and hear it because it's scary to say, is my home relationship not working? Is my health deteriorating? Is my business actually my only worth in this world? And I'm terrified if I stop doing it. Like, is it destroying my relationships, which is a big part of our health? And I think, even some brokers are probably hearing this, like, Kathleen, don't say this, but it's like we can be very successful and be
yes,
healthy and have
yeah,
longevity. Like that's just a reality. So when you come into coaching, there's a disruption of a pattern you don't even, most of us don't even realize we've internalized. So it's like, wait, what's really important? And then are we doing the things that are important? And then wait, you're on a detour. Okay, cool. What's really important? Or hey, what's important's changed. Let's
yeah,
do a reset. And so for us, it's getting that our coaching is getting that clarity and then removing the barriers to work that plan. So if the
yeah,
barrier is we don't have the tech, we don't have the systems, we don't have the tool, we have the tool, but we're not using it at that level. We want to keep removing those barriers so we're powering up that person in business so we can achieve that plan. And as we do that, we're building a foundation.
Yeah.
right? So I think you get, I just signed up for a new coaching program today. Like I have 20 different certifications. And when I talk to people lately, I do our sales calls again, because honestly, I shouldn't be, I enjoy it because I get to meet with people, right? And
Yeah.
see where they're at. And I have really good conversion because I think I enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
So I meet with them and I hear them go like, oh my gosh, like this is a really big investment. And sometimes they'll be doing double or triple what other people just signed up for that same investment.
Yeah.
And I'll bring this to them like, listen, I've signed up for $100,000 USD coaching programs multiple times.
Yeah.
And did I love every single one? No. Did I get a lot of value from every single one? You bet, because I showed up and I was like, I'm going to ensure that I pull what
Yeah.
I need from this. And it transformed me, every single one as a leader. It
Yeah.
just did. And I'm not saying everyone, like, I was at a place to invest in $100,000 program
Yeah.
early on. No, I wouldn't have. But I think it's the same. We fear if we go into these environments, like our environment is just so vetted. So when I'm like, oh my gosh, we have 200 tests, like we release every 12 months. We're so vetted. So when people get really nervous, it's not that they're worried the coaching will work or who they're going to coach with. They're worried, can they show up? Right? Can I show up? Do I trust myself to show up? And that's like a core leadership
Yeah.
piece, that we want to support. Because think about it, what could you do in life if you trusted yourself to show up and be
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
You're not perfect at
Yeah.
it.
100%. And I think one of the other interesting things, like I find the second you change your mindset about investing in your business versus spending,
Yes,
that is it because nobody, I mean, if you're thinking of like what can you spend? Yeah, you can cut out a lot of things.
for sure.
But investing in your business, like that's like your business needs it to grow, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we all like I think any, example this past year I spent more on my health than I have
Yeah.
ever. And I don't regret it because I had a knee injury and I tried to come back and I've always been a very active, healthy person, but
Yeah.
it wasn't working. And like I had a personal trainer, I already had support. So I
Yeah.
hired a functional health specialist. I ended up to, I have new glasses, I'm new, all of a sudden you have
Yeah.
all the things. But my health is night and day from what it
Yeah.
was a year ago. And I actually got to the point, I said to Jane, I'm like, if I can't get my health back on track, like I'm gonna have to take a sabbatical. Like I refuse because I don't want to be 90 and I can't function, I can't get
Yeah.
up,
Yep.
and business is the same. It's like you invest in relationship coaching or therapy, whatever, your health, your business. People who are optimal have a community helping them, and paying for that help isn't a bad thing if it's the right person. In fact, it's proven to
Absolutely.
be a very good thing.
Absolutely. I actually loved we were listening because at this summit, I know I keep talking about the summit. I feel like
Yeah, no, I
you don't
love it.
have to have the summit, but I feel like you should have the summit. Um, what was cool is that we were listening to some very like there was one specific very top producer and he was like, here's what happened to me. I like my production was great. My health was
Yeah.
failing. And we were talking about like red light therapy masks. And there's a really cool like a meditation app that I ended up getting from Marissa.
Yeah.
Um, but like all this stuff where you're just like, are there little things that you can do? Because maybe you don't have time to like go to a spa for a day, but could you do small things every day? And
Yeah.
I know I've added those things in, and my energy feels so much more than it was even a month ago. And I'm just like, okay, I like it. I'm listening.
Yeah, it's like if you build up your like stores of energy and
Yeah.
vitamins and mineral, all this good
Oh, yeah.
stuff, like when you hit stress, it doesn't hit you the same. You don't go
Yeah.
into people get anxiety, right? If you're under stress, it can be really hard. Like hard's not even the appropriate word. Like your body's just off. So I
Especially
think
as
like,
women, like the
yes,
cortisol,
very, yeah.
bad.
It's bad. So I always say it to people, like if they don't want to take care, I'm like, listen, if you can just be consistent, you hit the stress, you go like this instead of like this.
Yes.
So yeah, I think Summit's great because it brings together the themes of the year. And I think that was Mike Kettle sharing, yeah,
Yes.
that. So we have
Yeah.
a good joke where he's like, I have the Hume scale. I'm like, so do I, because my functional health is in Vancouver, right? And he's here. So I just laugh listening to him because I'm like, this is so weird. Like we've literally done all the same things, but we didn't know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's and there's so like there's different ways. And I mean, I find there's you can go down a rabbit hole on Instagram and listen to all the things that you need to buy today and do this and take the but I would say talk to either a doctor or listen because I
Of
what I
course.
love is that listening. It was actually like a medical, he's working with a medical professional who's like, here are some things you can do
Yeah. Oh, for
versus
sure.
like,
Like when we're saying functional health, like they're, whether him or me, they're taking our blood, they're checking
yeah,
things, they're making recommendations based on data, right?
yes,
Not that like energy, there's other work you can do, but when it
yeah,
comes to your actually physiology, yeah,
yeah,
like you want to
it,
make sure you're with
for
somebody
sure.
safe.
I do find like, because I mean, for me, I found it very, very refreshing because I think we've all had that burnout on Instagram or anything. Like if I hear one more person be like, "Oh, like this is what you need," and then the next person's like, "Actually, you don't need that. You need this," and I'm like, "Well, okay, those are completely opposite things."
Yeah. And I think burnout, though, like burnout is multifaceted. You know,
Oh
we can
yeah,
be physically burnt out, but in my experience with leaders, even with myself, like
yeah,
sometimes, yes, I'm just, and I can, let me say it differently. We can tell the difference between being physically exhausted,
yeah.
right? Versus being mentally, emotionally, energetically exhausted.
Oh
And
yeah,
I find often, not always, but often the energetic, mental exhaustion for entrepreneurs at least comes from a disconnection with their vision. They're back on that hamster. They forget why. They don't have anything exciting planned in the future. They don't know the next phase in their business. And they're scared to pull back and reset so they feel joy again. Because entrepreneurs feel joy when they're building, when they're learning, when they're growing. So it's like, hey, maybe you're burnt out because you're not doing what you were literally built to do. Like that's your personality. So I was like, hey, if the motivation's down in a team or for yourself, like reset that vision. Write a letter from the future mid-year. I mean, I have when my years are off or when they're
yeah.
ahead.
And if you guys don't know what Kathleen means, letter from the future is very cool. I did it years ago. I just did it. I just did mine again. And you take, is it a year in the future?
Yeah, so you write, so if this is going on February, so let's just say Valentine's Day, right? So if you
Okay.
were watching this February 14th, 2026, you tonight could take like a half an hour, 40 minutes, maybe time on your own, light a candle, have a bit of time, and you would write February 14th, 2027. And pen to paper is really important. This is kinesthetic, it's right brain, it's a visualization. So you would write a letter to yourself and you could just start with, wow, what an amazing year it's been. And you're not writing, I hope, I wish. It is not a goal setting practice. The
Yeah.
more you feel it, hear it, like you see it, the more
Yeah.
embodied you are, the more powerful it is. So you can envision it to your best friend, to yourself, to spouse, sister, whatever you want. And I was just like, wow, what a great year. And some people have to write it 4 times and then boom, it just like flows.
Yeah. Oh, so powerful. And I think it's just, and this is where, guys, like you can find, you can write out goals, you can do whatever it is. And sometimes I find writing out goals, if you're not used to it, can be really tough. Like I've tried to, I love writing goals. So I always try and get everyone I know to do it. And they'll just sit there and go, I don't know. But the letter, it's like, let's say it was a year from now, what would be cool? And
Yeah.
then, right. And then you just like write it like it's already happened. And then like it doesn't have to be perfect. No one's judging you, right? But
Yeah.
it's so cool.
And
It,
and even just like the ability to think, just to be open to where you might be a year from now and include any interference. If you have to have a difficult talk or you have to change a habit,
yeah,
include that. Like most people, when they don't reach their goals, it's because there was unexpected interference. Like I
yeah,
didn't expect that to happen, or I didn't expect that outcome, or I didn't know it would be so hard, right? And they do the
yeah,
not meant to be tap out that we all know about. But at Summit, we talked about, where were you 10 years ago?
yeah.
Right? And where were you now? Does
That's
that
power.
empower you with what you can do 10 years from now? And some
Yeah,
people did, some people didn't. Like some people were sad because they're like, 10 years ago, they were in a really, really good place and they felt like they lost that a little bit. So it
yeah,
was like a reset to think, oh, where am I going to be 10 years from now? Do I want to stay on the current trajectory? And like a letter from the future is, 1 year snapshot of that. But like if you don't take the time to envision where you want to go, you're literally not making the micro decisions to take you there. So it's such a little thing to write a letter like that, but then your brain is like, oh, is that on track to where I want to be? It's just so subtle.
oh, so cool. Um, if you could give a couple of takeaways, so if you were like, there's a couple of things that like maybe if you do nothing else, you just listen to these. What are a couple of things that you think could help people at any stage of their real estate journey? or not even real estate, entrepreneurs listening to any stage of their business journey?
Yeah, I mean, and well, I mean, I've said it a bunch of times, like vision, like the
Yeah,
most powerful thing an entrepreneur has is their vision, and 99% skip that step. And it's literally the most powerful thing. So don't be scared if you're a creator. The world needs creators. So number one, get in tune with that vision. And I think I said at Summit, like know where you're going, know why you're going there, because for entrepreneurs, you're gonna go somewhere. Again, you're wired for it. You're
yeah,
going to build, you're going to do something. The question is, why are you going to do it? Is it good for you, your life, the community, the world? And
yes,
how are you going to do it? Do you have a best in class path? Like, do you
yeah,
have a community? Do you have tools? Do you have systems? Because
yeah,
end of the day, like somebody who doesn't care as much as you can put systems in and outperform you. And in the world, that might sound like competitive. I don't mean it that way. If you're of service and you do a great job in supporting people, you want them to know about you. You want them to be able to work with you. So
yeah,
I think those things are clear. And in real estate right now, I mean, again, process, right? Like all high performance is process driven. So if you're kind of just, you don't have a system for your friends and family or past clients, or you don't have a strong listing pres or buyer pres, I can guarantee you, like the amount of money you're leaving on the table would blow your mind if you don't have strength in those foundational areas. That's why it's so easy for us when individuals come to us and like, can you help me? And they tell me what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, we can help you, right? Like just what you're dropping is like 10 times the coaching fee. Like,
yeah,
let's, because it's real estate. Like we make a lot of
yeah,
money per
yeah.
transaction, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. And that's where this is the time. Like if you, especially the beginning of the year, it's about to get like it gets busy.
Yeah.
But if you can take some time to get those, like get the presentations ready, start practicing. Like I
Oh, for
think
sure.
I learned very early, someone was like realtors are the only one of the, I mean, not as many, maybe not as many anymore. But realtors are one of the only professions who like they practice in front of the client. And you're like,
Oh, yeah, sometimes it's good to practice it well for us in front of a coach, but peers, a manager,
yeah,
like there are people like, hey, can I do my listing presentation? Can you give
yeah,
me some feedback? Yeah, for sure.
absolutely. I thought it was cool in your book too. You said like people on your team or on the team of someone you're coaching had to do a listing presentation at your house.
Oh, yes, yes. Because I was doing onboarding. So when I used
Yeah,
to do it in person, literally we mocked up the whole thing, like
I
how
love
they
it.
showed up, how they walked in, everything.
Yeah,
And it was great because that's actually a good point. If you're a broker manager, you're a team leader, and you're
yeah,
trying to help somebody, I recommend you do it because often they'll be like, I'm doing it, I don't get what's going wrong. And then you watch them fully do it. You're like, oh, okay.
now
And
I
you,
see
and you
it.
can help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good. I definitely recommend the book, guys. So good. I cannot believe this has gone so fast. This is such a great conversation. If someone wants to reach out to you and your team to get started on just like an intro call, or just to learn more, how can they do that? What's the best way?
Yeah, so if you're an entrepreneur, you're in real estate, you can go to KathleenBlackCoaching.com, and that's where we have our individual coaching, team coaching, and then our community founders groups. We're also all over Instagram, so Kathleen Black Coaching or Kathleen Black underscore. We
Love it.
love you to follow along for sure.
Amazing. I will put all those links in the show notes, guys. Kathleen, thank you so much for this conversation. It was so lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much, Krystal Lee. I was looking forward to it. I'm so glad I did this. So I hope people got some value from this session. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for listening. This is Krystal Lee Moore Lucier, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore. Thanks for joining us with Kathleen Black. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time.